So this is a story about my student Larry, who traditionally didn't have very good results with women at all because he was always the person that got picked on growing up. This is a story how he got the hottest girl that he's ever dated his entire life after working with me for the last year and a half. Now, while I've had other students meet their significant other in just a couple months, in Larry's case, he was the guy that always got picked on growing up. He was the guy that didn't really have the experience with women that he wanted to have. He was the guy that was fighting against all the neuro programming in his head, all the past traumas. He internalized all these bad things that happened to him. And he had to fight against that in order to be that true ladies' man in his mind, which is what was needed to attract the kind of woman that he eventually ended up being able to pull. So it's difficult to unpack a whole year and a half of coaching in just a short video. But suffice to say that we had a lot of hurdles that we had to overcome. First of all, in the mind. For example, limiting beliefs. Larry had some ideas about not being able to date women that were local. So we had to challenge that, actually banned him from talking to girls that were outside his city because during COVID, he couldn't date them anyway. He had to date locally. And we proved to him that, yes, even women as close as your specific apartment complex would be into you. He had a limiting belief that other men would be able to steal his girl, and that he didn't really want to deal with the competition of being the spotlight or go through this challenge of like always having to be the alpha of the group. And while I definitely empathize with that because nobody really wants to have to do too much all the time, it was a fundamental misunderstanding about what it takes to be the leader of the group or the guy that can carry attention with women. And so what I did was I challenged him to, go out and carry the attention of a group. We had many conversations about how to effectively be a leader of the group and carry attention, including girls' attention. And he proved to himself through practice, because he was willing to do this, that he could be the man in any social situation. Now, one thing that Larry got really good at was being able to close multiple phone numbers in a day. For a lot of guys, this is hard because they don't understand when the right time to go in for the number close. And he got really good at witty banter over text. Now, when Larry started, he was really bad at it. He would go all the way, like way too funny all the time, which it was like way too try hard. And he really put in the effort to dial in his texting to the point where he understood when to be playful and funny and then also when to be serious and genuine. And it was a challenge for him to dial it in, but he put in the work and eventually he could get multiple phone numbers a day through this process of understanding, when to go in for it and how to be entertaining, off a dating app or a text conversation. And it was a real treat for me as a dating coach because I got to take somebody that was basically at ground zero and help them rise up like a phoenix after being treated like so long in his life and be able to get anything he wanted. And it was a long journey. One element of this journey was going out and actually getting results with women and then attracting a girl into his life that was so close to what he wanted, but it was a mismatch in terms of how they saw their lives playing out with children and whatnot. And he had to make the hard call that he was going to let her go. Now, imagine being somebody that had trouble getting women at all, then attracting a really attractive woman into your life, but then saying, you know what? I'm going to pass on this one. When your whole life you've gone without the attention that you wanted, to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to have to pass on this one because I know it's not going to play out the right way. That is true strength and evolution. And this actually happened to him a couple times because he would go out, date. He would get really good at getting numbers, taking girls out on dates. Eventually, there was a challenge to get the second date for a while. And then he ended up getting the second date and be able to progress. And eventually he attracted the girl that he's with to this day, who is the hottest girl he's ever dated in his whole life, and the most rewarding, most fulfilling girl who he's now been in a relationship for several months. And so the biggest thing that you can take away from Larry's story is this. Anybody, no matter how bad you've been treated in your life, no matter where you find yourself on the social totem pole, anybody can learn the skill of getting good with online dating. Anybody can learn the skill of learning to be funny. Anybody can learn the skill of game and being a ladies' man. And not only can just anybody do it, but if you're willing to put the work in, you will excel to the point of not only being able to attract women, but to attract a woman that's literally a perfect fit for your life. Now, in my dating life, I attracted my wife who, I had to kind of choose over other girls before her But when I met my wife, I found somebody that was like shared parenting values, somebody that has a shared hobby with me. For example, we get to train jujitsu multiple times a week together because we have that shared martial arts value. And that's in my life. And then when we turn around and look at Larry's story, you know, he's a surfer. He wanted to meet a woman that didn't want kids. And not only did he meet a woman that didn't want to have kids, but she's also a surfer. So not only does this demonstrate the importance of coaching, right, where you have somebody who's already been down the path that can tell you which fork in the road to go down, right, but it's also a testament to hard work because, you know, Larry was willing to dedicate this section of his life to getting it right. And now the rest of his life is going to be blessed because he's met an incredible complement to his life that, you know, theoretically could be there for the whole rest of his life, right, that ride or die partner. And so if this story has been at all inspirational to you, what I would tell you to do is click on my profile over here, click the link in my profile, and then apply for one-on-one coaching. And what we'll do is have a conversation about where you're at right now, where you want to go, and then what is it going to take to get there, okay? Larry did it, and I have many other people who've been down this journey, and you can too, as long as you're willing to put in the work. I'd love to talk to you.